What's going on with the market? What's going on with the VIX? Well, find out next on the Short Vol Show Live, coming up right now. And welcome back. It is a Saturday, and this is the Short Vol Show Live. My name is David. I know it's been a crazy week as far as VIX goes, and not a whole lot of relief in sight for those of us who are short. Let's take a look at what's going on and what we should be doing at this point. All right, so if I pull up the chart, the most important chart that I always look at is the E-mini chart, which for me is the same as the SPY, of course. Let's pull that up right now. Because the E-minis and what's happening in the major indices is really the story here in the end. And behind me, you can see that we're still in an uptrend, sort of, if we look at the weekly, but let's go to the 20-day. And this is really the story here right now. Let me move out of the way a little bit here. And you can see that on the 20-day, we are really kind of moving sideways the last week, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, if you're long. Most people are long the market in some way, whether that be being short vol or being long a mutual fund or some sort of passive investment in the stock market. And that's why I say unfortunately here. And this is really the key right here to what's going on, is just that we had this big sell-off on around the 10th. And then since then, we've been struggling to sort of tread water to go higher. Now, we did get that up move around the 15th, as you can see here, and then back down and sideways. We look at the VIX here. We can see the spike up to 28.84, and then slowly lower since then, with the last 2 days having their own little mini spikes. The term structure, currently we are in backwardation. We came out of it for a little bit. Term structure was very flat for a while. Well, let's go to VIX Central to look at the term structure here for a second. And here we go. And it looking once again very flat. And of course, the spot being above all of the futures. Now this means a couple things. One thing it means is that we are in sort of a spike situation right now. The second thing it means is that the average of the VIX is lower than here, and in the future we should be lower than we are right now. So if you're short UVXY, VXX, hang in there. Things are going to go lower at some point. I can't tell you exactly when, but things are going to go lower at some point. Now, as long as we don't have motivated sellers continuing, then this term structure will adjust itself. If VIX stays right here, these futures will slowly creep up, and if nothing really happens and VIX just stays right around here, this will sort itself back into a contango situation at some point. The only way that you can really lose is if we have continued motivated downside activity. And I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. But if you are shocked by what's been going on lately, if this is not your plan and you can't believe what's happening, then you need to start to reimagine the situation. Anything can happen in the market at any time, and you should have a contingency plan for the worst, because a lot of times it's called Murphy's Law. You've heard of that before. The worst thing that could happen will. And I suspect for a lot of people, the worst thing that can happen is you buy some sort of puts or sell call spreads or buy put spreads, making a downside bet, and time runs out before that down move has been realized. That is the situation I believe that a lot of people are finding themselves in as far as the VIX, because this has gone on longer than I don't know if you'd say the typical spike, but a lot of spikes only last one day. And so this has been going on. Last weekend I made a video and we were in backwardation. Well, we're in backwardation still. Now it looks very flat. It's not a lot. This 1.5% is not causing a ton of damage the same way that 10% was right before expiration, but we still are in backwardation. As I said, this will sort itself out over time as long as we don't continue to go accelerating lower. So patience, my friends. I know it's frustrating to people, and but there's still an opportunity here. This is more times for people to jump on the short train up here, because this is a great time to get short vol because we're above the average, and a spike from here is not as extreme. When the VIX is 20, if things go lower and we get a spike, it's not as extreme as when the VIX is 11. We're already up high, so the alarm bells are already going off. The VVIX is around 115 right now, and we kind of have to keep the ball rolling down the hill to sustain these levels in the VIX, because realized volatility is not that high. The markets aren't moving around super a whole lot right this second, and well, of course it's the weekend, but I mean in general, if you look, the daily range is not that huge right now, and thus people that are holding on to long options, whether it be in equities, in the VIX, or in the indices, it's only going to work it only works when stuff moves around. And so the more pressure there is on the VIX to go lower as nothing sort of happens here, we're net sideways to up since the 11th here, you can see on the chart, and that's good news. It would have been better news for the VIX and whatnot if we continued this rally around the 15th, but sideways will be a winner in the long term for the VIX. So everybody just hang in there and be patient, and stuff will come around. I did want to mention at this time my sponsor, Gorilla Trades. Check them out at gorillatrades.com. I'm not a great stock picker. In fact, I'm a pretty bad stock picker. I picked a stock the other day. I picked Square, and I bought a little bit for $80. Well, guess how that worked out? Look. $80. This is where I bought it, right here, and it went straight down to 65. Or no, I'm sorry, 69. And then on a rally up to around 73, I sold it out and said, you know what, I'm a terrible stock picker. I'm not doing that again. However, Gorilla Trades and the Gorilla are excellent stock pickers with a great proven record. And so if you want to pick a stock, I would go check them out. I've been following them over the last year as we've had a business relationship together, and they've been right on over and over again. I entered a business relationship not knowing that much about Gorilla Trades, and but I've been surprisingly impressed. I'm very skeptical of anybody who of any sort of stock market type services, trading things, all that stuff. I'm very skeptical of. I'm not a big technical analysis person either. However, I've watched Gorilla Trades succeed at making money over the last year, and I've jumped on some of their trades, and they've worked out for me. So kudos to them. So you don't always have to do things the hard way. I always recommend to people to make your own way, make your own decisions. But these Gorilla Trades guys can point you in the right direction, and they also have an options idea once a week, and those are really have worked out a lot as well. Right now, they also have every day they have emails where they'll talk about stuff like what numbers are coming out today, what it means, just analysis of economic activity. And so you can get that email, and it saves you the time of having to go in a chat room, talk to people, search through all these other sites to find out the basic market information for the day. So I'm a big fan of Gorilla Trades. Check them out. They do help support this channel, so I'm grateful to them. So thank you for that. All right, so that's enough of that. Let's talk MJ. MJ stocks. Okay, so the 17th was the day that stuff was legalized. Announcements came out this week in APHQF, that being Afria and Aurora Cannabis, that they will be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Stuff was down on Friday. Someone had asked me, well, what happens with my ACBFF stock if I bought it and then it gets listed on New York Stock Exchange? Well, be confident that your shares will be valued at the same exact price as the New York Stock Exchange. I'm not 100% sure how it converts, but your shares are safe. Don't worry about that. Anyway, I've been excited to see my buddy Dave Modell and all the stuff he's been doing lately. He's been all over the place, so that motivates me to produce more content. And I've been busy and I haven't had that much stuff come out, but right around the corner are some new interviews and some exciting stuff. I know it can be frustrating right now in the VIX when we get these extended periods of elevated activity, but this is an opportunity here, folks, and this stuff is going to go lower. So I'm short it right now, and I have a position short the VIX, and I believe it will work. Much better opportunity now to get short than when it's way lower and the VIX is like 11. That will still work then too, but you'll have to wait a lot longer. All we need is a nice big rally day, and this volatility stuff is going to get crushed. 20 in the VIX is not sustainable for too long, unless, like I said, we have motivated continued selling. I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I can tell you that I feel much more comfortable being short it now than I did with VIX at like 11, A, and B, even though we're not in contango right now, I feel confident that 80% of the time in contango will continue to be the case, and that we will be back in contango very soon. So opportunity here, if you're not short the VIX, to be short it. I'd much rather be short it than long it right here. And we'll just have to wait and see as far as everything else. The elections midterms are 11 trading days from now, so that's obviously a focal point for many people, and it's also a chance that vol will come in a lot as soon as that is in the record book. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Exciting weeks ahead. There are opportunities to trade in and out of stuff. But be careful and be nimble there, folks. The key is to live to trade another day, and so keep that in mind as you're trading. I do want to congratulate VG470 for winning the Pick UVXY Close event on Friday. Now, there's a new place to play that game. It's in the room Volatility on StockTwits. I will leave a link in the description, but you can go on StockTwits to the UVXY page and ask Ron Turkey or any of the other guys on there, Vix Hulk, and they'll point you in the right direction for that contest. We have a contest every Friday where we try to pick what UVXY will end at, and Ron Turkey has been generous enough to donate a little prize in crypto coins every week for the winner of that contest. Thanks for watching today, and we will see you very soon. Stay tuned for some more videos about UVXY, how to trade it, what's going on with the VIX, and all that good stuff for you VIX traders out there. I know it's been a rough ride this year for the short VIX, but stay short, have fun, and it is going to continue to work for us, folks. It's just patience. Like Warren Buffett said, the stock market is the transfer of money from the impatient to the patient. So hang in there. See you next time.